Hello, everyone. Welcome to Slow Learning English. I am Sarah, and I am so happy you are joining us today. This is the place where we take our time, we speak slowly and clearly so that you can understand every word. Our goal is to help you build your confidence one sentence at a time. Today, John and I are going to have a very special conversation. So, find a quiet place, relax, and let's start learning together at a comfortable pace.
Hello, Sarah. Hello, everyone. Oh, vacations. Just the word makes me feel relaxed and happy. Everyone needs a break from work and school. Today, we are going to talk for a long time about where to go, what to do, and how to talk about your trips in English.
Yes, this will be a very long and helpful conversation. If you are a beginner at the A1 or A2 level, this is perfect for you. We will use simple words and repeat them many times so you can remember them. John, let's start with a very basic question. What is a vacation?
That is a good start. In American English, we say vacation. In British English, people often say holiday. It means a time when you do not go to work or school. You might stay at home, or you might travel to a different city or a different country.
Exactly. Some people like to go to the beach, some people like to go to the mountains, and some people like to visit big cities. John, let's talk about the beach first. What do people do at the beach?
The beach is very popular. When people go to the beach, they want to see the ocean. They like the sand and the sun. You can say, I want to go to the beach to swim in the sea. Or, I want to sunbathe. Sunbathe means to lie under the sun to get a tan.
Yes, and children love to build sandcastles. They use the sand and water to make little houses. It is very fun. You can also say, I like to walk along the shore. The shore is where the water meets the land.
I love the smell of the sea air. It is very fresh. Many people go to the beach in the summer because the weather is hot. They want to cool down in the water. You can say the water is very refreshing.
Now, let's talk about the mountains. The mountains are very different from the beach. In the mountains, the air is often cool and crisp. People go there to hike. To hike means to walk for a long time in nature, usually up a hill or a mountain.
Hiking is great exercise. You can see many trees, birds, and sometimes wild animals. You can say, I am going hiking in the mountains this weekend. You need good shoes for hiking. We call them hiking boots.
In the winter, people go to the mountains to ski or snowboard. This is a very different kind of vacation. It is cold and there is a lot of snow. You can say, I love skiing because it is fast and exciting.
I am not very good at skiing, Sarah. I usually fall down. But I like the mountains because they are quiet. It is a good place to relax and read a book. You can stay in a small wooden house called a cabin.
A cabin sounds very cozy. Cozy means warm, comfortable, and small. You can sit by the fire and drink hot chocolate. This is a perfect winter vacation.
Now, let's talk about the third type of vacation, the city trip. Many people like to visit famous cities like London, Paris, New York, or Tokyo. This is called a city break.
In a city, you do a lot of sightseeing. This is a very important word for vacation. Sightseeing means visiting famous places like museums, statues, or old buildings. You can say, I spent the whole day sightseeing in Rome.
When you are in a big city, you often use a map or your phone to find your way. You might visit a cathedral, a park, or a famous bridge. You can say, I want to see the landmarks. A landmark is a famous building or place that is easy to recognize.
And of course, in a city, you go shopping. You can go to big malls or small local shops. You might want to buy souvenirs. A souvenir is something you buy to remember your trip. For example, a t-shirt with the name of the city or a small model of the Eiffel Tower.
I always buy a magnet for my refrigerator. That is my favorite souvenir. It is small and cheap. You can say, I am looking for a souvenir for my mother.
Now, let's talk about how we travel to these places. The most common way for long distances is by plane. You go to the airport and you get on a plane.
Traveling by plane is fast, but sometimes it is stressful. You have to arrive at the airport early. You have to check in your bags. You have to go through security. You can say, my flight is at 10 o'clock, or I am waiting at the gate.
If you don't like flying, you can travel by train. Trains are very comfortable. You can look out the window and see the countryside. You can say, I am taking the train to the city. The train station is usually in the center of the town, so it is very convenient.
Convenient means easy and useful. I like trains because I can walk around. Another way to travel is by car. This is called a road trip. A road trip is fun because you can stop whenever you want. If you see a beautiful lake, you can stop the car and take a photo.
Road trips are great for families. You can put all your bags in the trunk of the car. You can listen to music and talk. You can say, we are going on a road trip across the country.
Don't forget the bus. Traveling by bus is usually the cheapest way. We often call long-distance buses coaches. You can say, I took a coach from London to Edinburgh. It takes a long time, but it is not expensive.
Now, let's talk about where we stay during a vacation. The most common place is a hotel. A hotel can be big or small, cheap or expensive.
When you arrive at a hotel, you go to the reception. You say, I have a reservation. A reservation means you booked the room before you arrived. The person at the desk gives you the key to your room.
You can ask, does the room have a view? A view means what you can see from the window. For example, a sea view or a mountain view. You can also ask, is breakfast included? This means, is the breakfast free with the room?
Many hotels have a swimming pool and a gym. If you want something cheaper, you can stay in a hostel. A hostel is a place where you often share a room with other people. It is very popular with young travelers and students.
And now many people use websites to stay in a local person's house or apartment. This is a good way to feel like a local. You can cook your own food in the kitchen.
Some people like to go camping. Camping is when you sleep outside in a tent. You sleep in a sleeping bag on the ground. It is very close to nature. You can say, we went camping in the forest. We made a fire and cooked sausages.
Camping is very adventurous. Adventurous means you like to do exciting and new things, but it can be difficult if it rains, your tent might get wet.
That is true. I prefer a soft bed in a hotel. Now, let's talk about the people we travel with. You can travel with your family, your friends, or your partner.
Traveling with friends is very fun. You can share the costs and have many laughs. You can say, I am going on vacation with my best friends. We are going to have a great time.
Traveling with family is also important. It is a time for parents and children to be together. You can say, we are taking a family vacation to the seaside.
Some people like to travel alone. This is called solo travel. When you travel alone, you can do exactly what you want. You don't have to wait for anyone. You can say, I am traveling solo this year because I want to meet new people.
That is very brave. Now let's talk about planning a vacation. Before you go, you have to decide where to go. You might look at pictures on the internet or read a travel guide.
You have to check the weather. If you want to go to the beach, you want sunny weather. If you want to go skiing, you need snow. You can say, I am checking the weather forecast for Spain.
Then you have to book your tickets and your hotel. To book means to pay for something or reserve it for the future. You can say, I booked my flight yesterday. I am so happy.
And then you have to pack your suitcase. This is a very important part of the vacation. You have to choose your clothes. If it is hot, you pack t-shirts, shorts, and a swimsuit.
If it is cold, you pack sweaters, a jacket, a hat, and gloves. Don't forget your toothbrush and your passport. You can say, I am packing my bags now. I have too many clothes. My suitcase is very heavy.
I always pack too much, John. My suitcase is always full. Now let's talk about what happens when you are on vacation. Let's talk about food. Trying new food is one of the best parts of traveling.
I agree. Every country has different food. If you go to Italy, you eat pizza and pasta. If you go to Japan, you eat sushi. If you go to Mexico, you eat tacos. You can say, I want to try the local food.
You can go to a restaurant or try street food. Street food is food that you buy from a small stall on the street. It is usually cheap and very tasty. You can say, the street food in Thailand is amazing.
Be careful if you have a sensitive stomach. Sometimes new food can make you feel a little bit sick. We call this an upset stomach, but usually it is fine.
When you are at a restaurant, you ask for the menu. You choose your food and you order. You can say, I would like grilled fish, please. And for dessert, I want chocolate cake.
After the meal, you ask for the bill. In America, we say the check. You can say, could we have the check, please?
Now, let's talk about money. When you travel to a different country, they might have a different currency. Currency means the type of money they use, like dollars, euros, or pounds.
You can go to a bank or a money exchange to change your money. You can ask, what is the exchange rate today? Or you can use your credit card or an ATM to get local money.
It is always good to have some cash in your pocket for small things like water or a bus ticket.
Now, let's talk about the duration of a vacation. How long is a vacation? Some people go away for the weekend. This is a short trip, 2 days and 1 night.
Some people go away for a week or 2 weeks. This is a standard vacation. And some people are very lucky and go away for a month. This is a long vacation.
You can say, I am going away for 10 days, or I am taking a 2-week break.
Let's talk about some useful sentences for when you are on vacation. Imagine you are lost in a city. What do you say?
You can say, excuse me, I am lost. Can you help me? Where is the main square? Or how do I get to the museum?
People are usually very friendly and will help you. You can also ask, where is the nearest bus stop? Or is there a pharmacy nearby?
If you are at a hotel and there is a problem with your room, you can say, excuse me, the air conditioning is not working, or there are no towels in my bathroom.
The hotel staff will fix the problem for you. You can say thank you for your help.
Now, let's talk about the feelings we have during a vacation. At the beginning, you feel excited. You are thinking about all the new things you will see.
Then during the vacation, you feel relaxed. You are not thinking about work or chores. You feel happy and free.
But at the end of the vacation, you might feel a little bit sad. This is because you have to go home and go back to your normal life. We sometimes call this the post-vacation blues.
I always feel a bit sad on the last day. I look at the ocean and say, I don't want to leave. But then I think about my own bed and my friends at home, and I feel a bit better.
And you have all the photos and memories. That is the best part. You can show your photos to your friends and tell them about your trip. You can say, look at this beautiful sunset.
Or, this was the best meal of my life. Telling stories about your vacation is a great way to practice your English.
Let's practice some conversation about a past vacation. I will ask you some questions. A.
Okay, I am ready.
Where did you go on your last vacation?
I went to Portugal. It was a very beautiful trip.
How did you travel there?
I traveled by plane. The flight was about 3 hours long. It was very comfortable.
Where did you stay?
I stayed in a small hotel near the beach. The room had a beautiful view of the ocean.
What did you do there?
I spent most of my time at the beach. I swam in the sea every morning. I also visited some old villages and tried the local seafood.
What was the weather like?
The weather was perfect. It was sunny and hot every day. There were no clouds in the sky.
What was your favorite part of the trip?
My favorite part was the food. I ate a lot of fresh fish and a famous cake called pastel de nata. It was delicious.
That sounds like a wonderful vacation, Sarah. Now it is your turn to ask me.
Okay, John, where did you go on your last vacation?
I went to the mountains in Canada. I wanted to see the snow and the big lakes.
Wow, how did you travel there?
I flew to Vancouver and then I rented a car. I went on a road trip through the mountains.
That sounds adventurous. Where did you sleep?
I stayed in different places. Sometimes I stayed in a hotel, and sometimes I stayed in a small cabin in the woods.
What did you do during the day?
I went hiking every day. The mountains were very tall and beautiful. I saw a bear. It was far away, but I was a little bit scared.
A bear? That is very exciting. Was it cold?
Yes, it was quite cold, especially at night. I had to wear a big jacket and a hat. But the air was very clean and fresh.
Did you buy any souvenirs?
Yes, I bought a warm wool sweater. It has a picture of a mountain on it. I am wearing it now.
It looks very nice. It is a great souvenir.
Now let's talk about staycations. Have you heard this word before?
Yes, a staycation is a mix of the word stay and vacation. It means you stay at home or in your own city, but you act like a tourist.
This is a great idea if you don't have much money or if you don't want to travel far. You can visit the museums in your own city that you have never visited. You can go to a new park or try a new restaurant.
I love staycations. You can sleep in your own bed, which is very comfortable. You can say, I am having a staycation this week. I am going to visit the art gallery and go for a long walk by the river.
It is a good way to relax without the stress of the airport or packing a big suitcase.
Now, let's talk about some vocabulary for things you take with you. We talked about clothes and suitcases. What about a camera?
Yes, a camera is very important to take photos. Most people use their phones now, but some people like a real camera. And don't forget your sunglasses. If the sun is bright, you need to protect your eyes. You can say, I cannot find my sunglasses. They are in my bag.
You also need Sunscreen. Sunscreen is a cream that you put on your skin so you don't get a sunburn. A sunburn is when your skin becomes red and painful because of the sun. You can say, please put on some sunscreen so you don't get burnt.
If you go to a country where they speak a different language, you might take a phrase book. A phrase book is a small book with useful sentences in a different language. Or you can use a translation app on your phone.
This is very helpful when you want to say hello, thank you, or how much is this?
Let's talk about the different seasons for vacation. We talked about summer and winter. What about spring and autumn?
Spring is a lovely time for a vacation. The flowers are blooming and the weather is getting warmer. It is not too hot. It is a good time for city trips or walking in nature.
Autumn is also beautiful. The leaves on the trees change color. They become yellow, orange, and red. It is a great time to visit a forest or a park. The weather is cool, which is perfect for hiking.
Many people prefer to travel in the shoulder season. This is the time between the busy season and the quiet season, for example, May or September,
Why is that a good time?
because it is not too crowded. Crowded means there are too many people. In the summer, famous places like the Eiffel Tower are very crowded. You have to wait in long lines.
And it is usually cheaper. Hotels and flights cost less in the shoulder season. You can save a lot of money.
That is a very good tip. Now, let's talk about some problems that can happen on vacation. It is not always perfect.
You are right. Sometimes your flight is delayed. Delayed means it is late. You can say, my flight is delayed by 2 hours. I have to wait at the airport.
Sometimes your flight is canceled. This is even worse. Canceled means the plane is not flying at all. You have to find a new flight or stay in a hotel.
Sometimes the airline loses your luggage. Luggage is another word for suitcases and bags. You arrive in a new country, but your bags are not there.
That is very frustrating. You have to go to the lost property office and tell them. You can say, my bag is missing. It is a blue suitcase.
Usually they find it and send it to your hotel the next day. But it is a bad start to a vacation.
What if you get sick on vacation?
That is a big problem. You might have to find a doctor or a hospital. It is always a good idea to have travel insurance. Travel insurance is a service you pay for that helps you if you have an accident or if you get sick in a different country.
You can say, I have travel insurance. Here's my paper. Can you help me find a doctor?
Another problem is the weather. You go to the beach for a week, but it rains every day.
That is disappointing. But you can still have fun. You can go to the cinema or visit an indoor museum or just sit in a cafe and watch the rain. You can say the weather is terrible, but I am still enjoying my book.
Now let's talk about some dream vacations. A dream vacation is a trip you really want to go on in the future. It is usually something very special.
John, what is your dream vacation?
My dream vacation is to go on a safari in Africa. I want to see lions, elephants, and giraffes in nature. I want to sleep in a luxury tent and hear the animals at night.
That sounds amazing. I want to go to Iceland. I want to see the northern lights. The northern lights are beautiful green and purple lights in the sky at night. I also want to see the volcanoes and the big waterfalls.
Iceland is very beautiful, but it is very cold. You will need a lot of warm clothes.
I know, but it is on my bucket list. A bucket list is a list of things you want to do before you die.
That is a great phrase. Many people have a trip on their bucket list. You can say, visiting the Great Wall of China is on my bucket list.
Now let's talk about how to describe a vacation using adjectives. Adjectives are words that describe things.
You can say a vacation was relaxing. This means it helps you feel calm and rested.
You can say it was exciting. This means it was full of energy and fun things.
You can say it was educational. This means you learned a lot of new things, maybe about history or art.
You can say it was expensive. This means it costs a lot of money. Or you can say it was affordable. This means the price was good and you could pay for it easily.
You can say it was crowded if there were too many people. Or you can say it was quiet if there were very few people.
You can say the food was delicious. Or you can say the scenery was breathtaking. Breathtaking means something is so beautiful that you can't breathe for a second.
For example, the view from the top of the mountain was breathtaking.
That is a very strong and beautiful word. Now, let's talk about some tips for learning English while you are on vacation.
This is a great idea. If you travel to an English-speaking country, you have a big chance to practice.
Don't be afraid to talk to people. You can talk to the waiter in the restaurant, the person at the hotel reception, or even people in the street.
You can ask for directions even if you know where you are, just to practice. You can say, excuse me, can you tell me where the library is?
You can read the signs and the menus in English. You can try to watch the local TV news in your hotel room.
And if you travel to a country where they don't speak English, you can still practice. English is the international language of tourism. Usually, people in hotels and airports all over the world speak some English.
It is true. I went to a small town in Italy and I don't speak Italian, but the waiter spoke a little bit of English so we could talk.
It makes traveling much easier and more fun.
Now let's talk about coming home. When you come home, you might feel very tired. This is called jet lag if you traveled across different time zones.
Jet lag is when your body thinks it is nighttime, but it is actually daytime. You feel sleepy at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You can say, I have terrible jet lag, I need to sleep.
It takes a few days for your body to feel normal again.
Then you have to unpack your suitcase. This is the part I hate. You have to wash all your dirty clothes and put everything away.
I hate that too, John. My suitcase usually stays on the floor for a week before I unpack it.
Me too, but then you can look at your photos. You can put them on your computer or print them and put them in an album.
And you can start planning your next vacation. That is the best way to feel happy again. You can say, I am already thinking about my next trip. I want to go to Greece.
We have talked for a very long time about vacations, Sarah. We talked about the beach, the mountains, and cities.
We talked about hotels, hostels, and camping. We talked about planes, trains, cars, and buses.
We talked about packing, food, money, and souvenirs. We talked about feelings and problems.
And we talked about dream vacations and vacations.
I hope our listeners learned a lot of new words and sentences today. Vacation vocabulary is very useful because everyone loves to talk about their trips.
Yes. If you meet a new person, you can always ask, where did you go on your last vacation? It is a great way to start a conversation.
And you can answer using the things we talked about today. You can say, I went to the beach and it was very relaxing.
Or I went to the city and I did a lot of sightseeing.
Or I went camping and it was very adventurous.
Practice these sentences at home. Think about your favorite vacation and try to describe it in English.
You can even write a small story about it in your notebook.
Well, John, I think it is time to end our long conversation for today.
I agree. I am feeling a little bit tired now. Maybe I need a vacation.
Haha, me too. Let's go and look at some travel websites.
That is a great idea. Thank you everyone for listening to English Pathways.
We hope you enjoyed our talk about vacations. Keep practicing your English every day.
And we hope you have a wonderful vacation very soon.
See you in the next episode.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
See you later.
Happy travels.
Safe journey.
Enjoy your trip.
Have a great time.
Don't forget your passport.
And your sunscreen.
See you soon.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode here on Slow Learning English. I hope you enjoyed our conversation and learned some useful new words. Remember, you don't need to hurry. Learning a language is a journey, and it is okay to go slow. If you found this helpful, please subscribe to our channel and share it with a friend who is also learning. I am Sarah, and I look forward to seeing you in our next lesson. Until then, keep practicing, stay positive, and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.